My name's Sarayak and I'm currently building out my second camper van, and this week I found a way to install heated floors for less than $100. I also installed this dual water and air heater, I insulated my floors, and I installed my subfloor. I'm going to raise my subfloor 2.5 inches, and I'm going to run the ducting for the heater underneath the raised subfloor. If you've looked into hydronic heated floor systems, you've probably seen that the systems typically cost $5,000 or more, which is a crazy amount of money, and I did not want to spend that on heated floors. And even though heated floors does seem like a luxury, I knew that I did want heated floors from my experience in my last van. In my last van, I would heat up the air in the van, and no matter how hot it got in the van, the floor would always stay ice cold when I was in cold climates. And to me, it just felt a little less homey, and I felt like I could never walk barefoot when my floors were that cold. So I knew I wanted heated floors, I just didn't want to spend $5,000 to do that. We came into town today to get some supplies for Tori and I's subfloor. We're gonna get plywood, and then you also need to get foam insulation for your floor. And we also have been bringing Choya every time we come into town because a lot of these hardware stores allow dogs, and we still need to train him. So we're gonna work as a team and get our supplies while simultaneously training Choya. We brought some treats. We have his little harness on, and he's been doing a lot better recently, but we still need to get him adjusted a little bit. I stayed up late last night cutting all these 2x4s, and now I have the framework for my subfloor. I spaced all of these no wider than 2 feet per typical building standards. It's actually well under 2 feet, which is great. And I also cut vents in the back so that the heat can come into these channels and heat up the floor and then the air. And now the next step is to screw everything together. So I actually have to give credit to my dad for this idea because I was venting to him about my problem. I wanted heated floors. I didn't want to spend $5,000. I even considered making hydronic floors myself, but then he thought of this really cool idea to raise my subfloor and run the ducting for my heater through the subfloor before it even vents out into the air. That way I'm not wasting any energy on another system. I'm going to have to use a heater anyways, but it's just going to heat the floor first and heat rises, so all of that will just come up into the space, but my floors will also stay warm. This is also an amazing idea because I was gonna buy a heater anyway. It's not going to cost me any extra money except maybe $100 in lumber that I use to raise my floor, although I was going to have to create a subfloor anyway, so I don't even know how much extra it really cost me. I would say $100 max. I finished screwing down all the 2x4s, and the next step now is to insulate. I'm using R-Max foam boards to do the insulation on the floor, and I'm just using 1 inch where the heat ducting is going to go, and then for the rest of it, I'm gonna fill it up all the way. This is the AC duct, so I'm running a lot of ducting through here actually. AC and also 3 different heat ducts. Yeah, wait, is this an issue actually? I feel like this might be an issue that I just thought of. Oh shit. This is actually an issue. In addition to running the heating ducts underneath the subfloor, I'm also running my AC duct underneath the subfloor. This is not to cool down the floor or anything. I just wanted to make use of this space instead of wasting space in the rest of the build. But then I ran into an issue because I realized I wasn't paying attention to how the heat was going to vent, and I was planning to have all the vents in the area where the AC duct was going. So I had to change the location of my AC duct so it didn't restrict the venting area for the heat. In order to do this, I just used my oscillating tool and I cut into one of the 2x4s so that it went further back in the wall. And this AC duct is going to be strategically placed in my bathroom. This is because my AC unit has a drying function, so while I take a shower or even after I shower, I want to be able to use that drying function to ventilate the space. So this was a quick fix. It didn't take very long, and I'm really glad that I caught this mistake because it would have been a lot harder to fix later. We have been trying a new dog food for Choya. This is the farmer's dog. Our dog Choya is a really picky eater, so we've been on the hunt to find him a dog food that he not only loves the taste of, but that is also really healthy for him. I have some friends who've had amazing things to say about the farmer's dog, so I decided to give it a shot, and Choya has been loving it. This dog food is fresh, healthy dog food that has been developed by veterinary nutritionists. It is made from human-grade safety standards instead of most other kibble, which is subject to multiple rounds of high-heat processing. This dog food is also delivered right to your door, so it's very convenient, and I don't have to haul a big bag of dog food from the store. If you are also interested in feeding your dog real fresh food, I have a 50% off your first box of the farmer's dog with my link. Plus, you also get free shipping. Because this entire heated floor system relies on a heater, I wanted to make sure I found a really good one, and I think I found the best heater right now on the market for Vanlife. This is the Aqua Hot Gen 1. I got it from Vanlife Outfitters. I have 2 boxes. I have no clue what's in either one, but let's see. This is a pretty new heater to my understanding, and the thing that makes it so awesome is it heats up both water and air, and it's very versatile. You can use either electricity or gas, or you could use diesel or propane. They have options. I chose the gas one, and it's going to hook directly to my gas tank, so I'm really excited to have this in the new van. Whoa. This is well packaged. They have layers to this. Okay. Wow, this is actually really fun. It's like Christmas. Wow. Oh, that's the other thing, is considering this is both heating air and water, this is a pretty space efficient device. Okay, here she is. Wow, that is awesome. That's seriously crazy. I actually got this heater from Vanlife Outfitters, and I'll leave the link in the description down below if you want to check this heater out or buy any other appliances from Vanlife Outfitters. One thing I've learned from doing not only this van build, but also my last one, is it's so important who you buy from. Some of these appliances can be so expensive, and they can also be a little confusing to install, honestly, especially if you're doing DIY. So one thing I love about Vanlife Outfitters is their customer service is amazing. I have had so many questions throughout this installation that I have been asking them, and they've been so responsive and have been walking me through the steps, even sending pictures. So I just want to shout out to them because they have been so awesome throughout this process. And if you are wanting to support a really awesome, amazing company that has great prices and amazing products, definitely go check them out and check out this heater, because I think that this is going to be such a game changer for van life and RVs. And now it's time for the exciting part. We are going to finally start to install the Aqua Hot Gen 1 heater, and the first step is cutting a hole in the side of my van for the exhaust. I'm going to leave all of the links down below for the tools that I use for this project, but this is an 80mm hole saw, and the links will be in the description. Actually, the next step before we fit it is we are going to file it down, and then we're going to spray paint it to prevent rust. I'm make sure that the top goes to the top part. I put a little bit of marine adhesive on this just to have it stick more and waterproof it more. I'm taking this clamp and I'm going to put it on as deep as possible and then clamp this down. The next thing we're gonna do is slip one of these worm drive clamps over, and we're going to put this on the air intake part. I want this to be pretty far in as well. That's pretty tight. The next step is putting this exhaust pipe into the heater itself. So I'm gonna first do that by, well, actually first I'm going to put the second hose clamp. This is the worm drive clamp, 70 to 90 millimeter. I'm gonna put this around so that that is ready. And then I'm going to put the inner tube inside first, and I'm gonna push it as deep as possible past this rubber O-ring. And after that is secured, I'm going to put this C-clip in it. And then I will tighten this clamp. Oh, I dropped it. Oh shoot. I don't even see it. Oh, it's all the way back there. It's trapped. I just tried to put the C-clip on and then it fell and I had to take this off. So I'm tying a little string to it so that that hopefully doesn't happen this time. We're gonna try this again. So it ended up being kind of hard to get that C-clip in because it's such a tight area, and I even have small fingers, but I ended up taking off this vent. There were just 4 tiny little screws connecting it, so I took it off and it made it a lot easier to connect the clip.
Well, you looked me in the eyes and you said it. Your face can say it all, so I know you meant it.
Now that I have the hose clamp on and everything ready and lined up, I am going to drill and screw this down into the ground. To do this, I'm using screws that came in the kit. These are the M6 by 26 self-tapping screws. And first, I'm going to drill holes in my plywood. Since I'm kind of on the edges of the plywood, I'm using this extension because it's not gonna work without it. Honestly, it might not really work with it. No, I think it will. I feel like I have a screw in my overall. Yep, I do. Seriously, overalls are the best work outfit. Everything I ever need are in my overalls. Okay, so it does kind of go through my plywood, so I might add a washer so it doesn't go through, just because I do have wires and plumbing in certain areas back here, so I don't want to drill into that. Now that I have the heater mounted, I am going to install the vents. There are 4 ports back here. I'm going to be using 3 of them and bring them around this heater to these holes that I've cut with a hole saw underneath my subfloor. It is going to first heat up my floor, and then it's going to vent out underneath my toe kicks in the kitchen area, and it's going to warm up the space. So I think this is going to be pretty awesome. Let's cut the ducts and feed it into these holes. I finished installing the 3 ducts, and on the 4th one, I'm going to add a little stopper, so I'm not going to be using that one. They recommend that you use at least 3 of them though. I also made sure that the ducts are going downward from the heater. Because this is also a water heater, you don't want heat to come up in the pipes whenever you are heating your water, so they recommend that you do that. So I made sure that all of these went down into the floor, which happened naturally for me, but if you wanted to have them go up, then just make sure they go down first, and then you can have the ducts go up.
Sweet mystery, what do you have left to hide? There's something up your sleeve, keep your secrets, I don't mind. Gonna find my way.
The next step for the install is plumbing. I started by mounting this piece of plywood to my wall, and I installed my water pump and also accumulator. And then to waterproof the system, I used PEX tubing because it is less prone to being damaged in the winter in freezing conditions, and I think it's also less prone to leaking. I used crimp rings to connect each joint, and I also used Teflon tape for any other fittings that required that. This heater is really awesome because it comes with literally everything you need to install it. It came with all the fittings, it came with the electrical components, the fuel components, the ducting. Now this part of the installation is going to differ a little bit depending on what heater you got because it has diesel and propane options as well. I got the gas option, and so I am going to hook up directly to my gas tank in my van. And to do that, I actually bought a special fuel adapter from Vanlife Outfitters. They sell that as a separate thing. So I got that, and I had to drop my fuel tank to do this, which was pretty intimidating, and I have never done that before, but I put it on the lift. I had to siphon all of the gas out, which took so long. That took so long. I was so dumb. Why did I have a full tank of gas before doing this? Like, why? Think ahead, like go on a long drive, run your gas tank down before you do this, or siphon out the gas if you want to spend hours of your life doing that. And then the next step was hooking up the adapter. After I had the adapter hooked up, I ran all of the fuel lines back through the hole into my van. I am now going to find a location for the fuel pump. This needs to be within 4 feet of the fuel tank, and it also needs to be in an upright position, so I'm going to keep that in mind while I try to find a place for it. I also have a tape measure, so I mean, in this chamber, I could maybe do it. The next thing I'm doing is taking this black wire. This is going to hook up to the fuel pump, and I'm leaving just enough for it to hook up to the fuel pump. I'm putting the rest through the hole. I decided to put all the fuel components outside of the van, underneath the van, just for safety. And so the only thing going inside of the van was just connecting to the heater itself, really. And then also the check valve is inside the van. And now the last step for this heater installation is wiring. So that is the full heater installation and the heated floors. Let me know what you guys think of this idea. I think that it's such a game changer. It feels so luxurious, but on a budget, and I'm really excited to test it out and see how it works in the winter. I just want to thank Vanlife Outfitters again for being so amazing throughout this process and supporting me so well with all my questions. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe because it really supports my channel, and I've been posting weekly about my van build, so I'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye!